A 2-year-old disappears without a trace. Her mother waits 31 days before even mentioning it to the police. And when she finally does, every story she tells sounds like it came straight out of a bad movie. Lies about a nanny, lies about her job, lies about everything. And then comes a murder trial that captures the attention of millions, only for the jury to let her walk free. This is a bizarre and honestly disturbing case of Casey Anthony. A case that left a little girl dead, a family destroyed, and a country questioning everything about justice. And even now, we still don't really know the truth. Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're breaking down one of the most shocking, twisted, and controversial cases in modern American crime. The disappearance and death of Caylee Anthony and the bizarre behavior of her mother, Casey Anthony. We'll dive deep into the timeline, the endless lies, the trial of the century, and why this case left so many people furious. Let's get into it. So, who is Casey Anthony? Casey Marie Anthony grew up in Orlando, Florida. From the outside, looking in, the Anthony family seemed pretty normal. A working-class family, nice home, close-knit community. The picture of middle-class America. Her parents, George and Cindy Anthony, seemed like typical suburban parents. But Casey wasn't exactly your typical daughter. She had a habit of lying, and not just little white lies. She told people she graduated from high school when she hadn't. She claimed she worked jobs that never existed. She'd make up stories just to avoid responsibility or to make herself look good. It was almost like lying was second nature. But no one realized how far it would go. In 2005, when Casey was just 19, she gave birth to a baby girl, Caylee Marie Anthony. And right away, there was drama. Casey never told her family she was pregnant until she was about 7 months along. And to this day, no one really knows who Caylee's father was. Casey gave different names to different people. Some said it was a guy named Eric Baker. Others said Jesse Grund, Casey's ex-fiancé, might be the father, but Jesse took a paternity test, and it came back negative. Some believe the real father died in a car accident, but the truth? No one knows. So Casey kept living at home with her parents, and little Caylee became the center of the family's world, especially for Cindy Anthony, Casey's mom, who seemed more like Caylee's mother than Casey did. But here's where things get weird. Casey acted like she was living two separate lives. At home, she was a young mom, but outside, she partied hard, hung out with friends, and told everyone she had a great job at Universal Studios as an event planner. She even convinced her family she worked full-time, but in reality, she wasn't working at all. She was just out living her best single girl life, clubbing, drinking, and posting happy photos on MySpace. Meanwhile, Caylee was mostly with her grandparents. And honestly, most people thought Casey was just immature until June 2008. On June 16, 2008, something happened. That morning, Casey left the house with Caylee. She told her family she was dropping Caylee off at the nanny's house, then heading to work at Universal Studios. Except none of that actually happened. From that day on, no one saw Caylee again. And Casey? She vanished too, for the next 31 days. Casey stayed away from her parents' house. She bounced around friends' apartments, stayed with her boyfriend Tony Lazzaro, partied at clubs, entered a hot body contest. Yeah, you heard that right. While Caylee was missing, or worse, Casey was entering a hot body contest at a nightclub. She partied like nothing was wrong. Then on July 15th, Cindy Anthony had enough. She finally tracked Casey down, and when she saw her, she demanded to know where Caylee was. Casey's story? She said Caylee was with a nanny, a woman named Zani. But Cindy wasn't buying it. She called 911, and during that call, she dropped a bombshell. She told the dispatcher, "It smells like there's been a dead body in the damn car." Apparently, George and Cindy had found Casey's abandoned car, and when they opened the trunk, they were hit with a horrible smell. So it was unmistakably the smell of death. That same night, police brought Casey in for questioning. And wow, did she give them a story. She said Zani, the nanny, had kidnapped Caylee. She gave them a full name, Zenaida Fernandez Gonzalez. She claimed Zani had taken Kaylee at a local apartment complex. But when police checked, there was no Zani, no apartment, no record of anyone by that name ever living there. Then she said she worked at Universal Studios. The police actually took her there. She walked them through the building, waved at people, acted like everything was normal until she finally stopped, turned around, and admitted she didn't work there. At this point, it was clear Casey Anthony was lying about everything. She was arrested on charges of child neglect and making false statements. But even in custody, her story kept changing, and the question still remained. Where was Kaylee? 5 months passed. Then, in December 2008, a meter reader named Roy Kronk made a grisly discovery. He was working in a wooded area less than half a mile from the Anthony home. There, inside a trash bag, he found skeletal remains. The skull had duct tape across the mouth and jaw. Near the skull was a heart-shaped sticker. Tests confirmed it was Kaylee. The little girl had been dead all along. And the worst part? The area where she was found had already been searched by police before. People started asking, how did they miss this? In 2011, after almost 3 years of investigation, Casey Anthony went on trial for the first-degree murder of her daughter. The prosecution said Casey killed Kaylee because she wanted to live a carefree, party lifestyle without the burden of being a mom. They pointed to the duct tape, the smell in the trunk, the internet searches on her computer for chloroform and neck breaking. They showed photos of Casey dancing at clubs while Kaylee was missing. To the prosecution, it was clear Casey was guilty. But then, the defense made their move. And it was shocking. They claimed Kaylee drowned in the family's swimming pool and that George Anthony, Casey's father, helped cover it up. They said George had sexually abused Casey since she was a child, and that's why she lied all the time. The courtroom was stunned. But here's the thing. There was zero evidence to back up any of it. After 6 weeks of testimony, over 400 pieces of evidence, the jury reached a verdict, not guilty, on all major charges. The only thing they convicted Casey of was lying to the police. Casey walked out of court a free woman. The backlash was immediate. The media exploded. Protests broke out across the country. People were furious. To many, it felt like Casey Anthony had gotten away with murder. After the trial, Casey basically disappeared from the public eye, but she couldn't escape the court of public opinion. She became one of the most hated people in America. Even now, years later, whenever her name pops up, it's met with outrage. She's given a few interviews claiming she doesn't know what happened to Kaylee, but no one's buying it. So what really happened? Did Casey kill her daughter to live a party life? Was it truly a tragic accident covered up by a dysfunctional family? Or did something even darker happen behind closed doors? Over a decade later, we still don't have answers. And maybe we never will. The Casey Anthony case isn't just about a missing child and a lying mother. It's about a justice system that failed, a media circus that spun out of control, and a story that left a permanent scar on a nation. So what do you think happened? Let me know in the comments. If you found this breakdown interesting, hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. I've got more deep dives into bizarre true crime stories coming soon. Thanks for watching, and as always, stay curious.